Hey, what's up, you guys? Elijah Judah back. You can call me Young Activist, Lord Elijah Judah, don't really care. And today we're going to be talking about Black Panther. A disclaimer, spoiler alert. Alright, so Black Panther, let's get started with it. Black Panther is actually an insult to black people, especially the American blacks. And the reason is because this entire movie had an all-black cast. It had a bunch of African cast members, and we know this. And the reason being is because of how the movie was portrayed. So let's talk about the ending of the movie real quick. So of course, Killmonger ended up getting killed. But let's look at Killmonger's character as a whole, the entire movie. Well, let's start from the beginning. So, of course, T'Challa's father and his brother had issues to where he went on a secret quest to California to go and get things done for Wakanda there. And then he ended up getting killed because he quote-unquote betrayed Wakanda. And so, through that, all he wanted to do was actually help out the American blacks who were there because they were being oppressed, and he's seen that all around from his secret agent mission that his brother T'Challa's father put him on. He realized what's going on there, and so through that he wanted to be able to help out the people. So he ended up betraying his country, and through that he ended up dying, of course, because of it. But through that he actually had a child, and they left their Wakanda child, one of their children in America, to be raised in the hood of California. Can you believe that? In the hood. Imagine that. A child who was born with riches and wealth, under a rich family, under a bloodline, being betrayed by his entire race and left there to be raised in America. That's insane. That's oppression within its own right. Well, we of course know how American blacks are treated in America. And so of course this child ends up getting raised through oppression, of course racism, constant gangbanging, and we don't even know who his mother is. Imagine who his mother is. Of course, a traditional American black woman in society. So he was raised up with a traditional single mother, which is normal in the black community, and had to be raised up with that, but also knowing that his father was killed by his own people. That's insane. That's so much betrayal in his head. So much emotion rose up to this point to where after, of course, the movies kept going, T'Challa ended up becoming king once his father ended up being destroyed. Being blown up, of course, because of, give me one sec. Oh, Claw. See, the Claw ended up actually sabotaging the building where it ended up blowing up, killing T'Challa's father. And through that, he had to pass on the torch to T'Challa himself to become the new Black Panther of Wakanda. And so through that, of course, he had to end up going to fight another tribe member who was dwelling in the mountains, which has a complete other metaphor within its own right. But outside of that, he ended up fighting him, he ended up beating him, and through that he ended up becoming the king of Wakanda. And then later on down the line, of course, him becoming the king of Wakanda, he ended up meeting his father and figuring out different secrets of him passed down into the movie that they actually wanted to keep all the vibranium. They're the richest country on the planet, Wakanda. They wanted to keep all the vibranium to themselves and keep it hidden from the known world, which is bad. And the reason being is because there's millions of black people all around the planet, and you're telling me that all this technology, all these advancements, all these health improvements to help out the community, especially our people around the world, you choose to leave us be and do your own thing in your own community and just let everybody perish around the world because, of course, we know who rules the world, the quote-unquote white man. And so you're letting all these people be oppressed all around the community and not using your tools to be able to help out everybody else? That's selfish and that's insane. And of course, that's what the vocal points of definitely where the movie was at. You see this in two ways. Of course, this is how the movie went. So one, Claw ended up becoming killed, and Killmonger actually ended up going to Wakanda to get back his rightful place at the throne from what he believed in his own circumstances. He ended up fighting T'Challa and challenged him to a battle to end up having his own throne there. And of course, T'Challa accepted that challenge. But even with the extra boost he got from being the Black Panther, he still ended up losing because King Killmonger has been through a lot. He's lived in the hoods and the ghetto. Shoot, he's been through a couple fights. He's killed thousands and thousands amongst people, as you can see according to his body. He's been waiting his entire life for that moment to get revenge, of course, on T'Challa because of his father, and also on top of that, have his rightful place of where he belongs. And of course, you know, when American Black comes in, nobody knows him. He ends up finding his rightful place after he clearly defeats him. Oh, no, you're not our people. Everybody starts betraying the king, and everybody starts going 100% against him, which goes against completely their standards of loyalty, which in its own right is terrible. And then after all that, he ends up coming up with a plan and an idea, and here's where the controversy comes in. This plan, this idea pretty much had, use your advancements, use your vibranium, and go and conquer the world. Y'all are loyal to me, I'm the king, so do what I need you to do. And the reason being is not because I'm an evil supervillain who wants to be able to conquer the world and be the king over it all. My people are being oppressed. There's millions of black people being oppressed all over America and all over the world. Shoot, and let's just look at Africa alone in its own continent. Every single place in Africa, geographically and all over the world especially, but in Africa, is colonized by another nation. There's no one country in Africa that's not colonized by somebody else, especially another nation of people who don't even belong there in the first place. There's millions of people all over Africa that are poor, that are living off of nothing, able to trying to survive day to day. And he was just trying to be able to help out his people and use the vibranium in order to help out those people in need and take out these wealthy, undeserving people out their throne and have us back on top, which is the minorities, the people of color, who should truly, honestly run society and the world. And so he was trying to use this time and this power in order to do what he needs to. I mean, if you look at historically, Black Panthers, they try to be able to run their own communities. They try to use guns and do whatever they needed to do to make sure they could police their own communities instead of depending on the oppressor to do it for them. And they didn't have the power, or they didn't have the economic status or stature or stability to be able to do that. And that's why the Black Panthers ended up going down. But the difference is in this fictional Marvel movie, Wakanda had the economic power to be able to sustain and actually conquer and do what they need to do to help out their community and help out their people instead of hiding in a mountain. So that's what he wanted to do, to expose it, but be able to also be back on top to do what's right for this country, to do what's right for this world, which is to actually have people live in harmony and put us back on top. That's all he was trying to do. Killmonger was not trying to take over the planet for bad. He was trying to take over the planet for justice, for people of color in the community. And this is not just for black people. This is also Native Americans, Hispanics, and a lot of South American islands around America in general. All these minorities around the planet who are treated worse, treated less than. And this is the reason why. Well, because first of all, Black Panther knew that these people who were being oppressed, it's not just for the blacks. That's why they said in the movie specifically to every single white person they seen, you're the colonizers, y'all are colonizers, you guys are colonizers, you are the oppressors. They said that because they're not only referring to black people. We weren't colonized, we were stolen. They were referring to people of color here too, the Native Americans and Hispanics and the Latino community. So that just shows you right there who they were specifically talking to. Black Panther was trying to do the complete opposite, which means they were trying to actually work together systematically with America and the United Nations in order to get everything sustainably designed for all. And the thing about it, you have to be able to love yourself before you love anybody else. And he was trying to be able to get us back on top and actually have harmony. We already see what the white man in the United Nations does when they're in power. They keep people down, especially people of color, on the bottom, and they push their people, especially lighter people of color, on top. He was trying to do the opposite and put people who actually deserve to be on top at their rightful place and have justice and harmony all around. He's not trying to just be evil and demonizing and do this and do that. T'Challa actually cared about his people, but this also just shows you how Africa and American blacks are two different types of people. When's the last time you seen a public announcement of Africans saying, let's have the blacks in America back and come back to our homeland? They're not saying that because they don't want us in the first place. We're two different types of people. The Negro and the African are two different types of people, and it's shown throughout this entire movie. There's the blacks, the American black, who try to come and be able to use this rightful place that he fairly gotten in this position position to be able to help out our people and help out people of color in the community fairly, but of course they went against them, said you're not our people, ended up killing the brother who actually won his rightful place, ended up taking their throne back, and then used it to depend on the white man all over again. It's oppression throughout our entire community. And this is another example of why Black Panther hates black people. Of course there's going to be controversy through this video. Of course there's going to be controversy towards what I'm saying as a whole, but this is the truth. There is a distinct difference between African Americans and the Africans who live in Africa, but also this just shows you how even in movies like this, where they're quote unquote supposed to be Afrocentric and black empowering, they're not black empowering. They hate our people, and on top of that, you can tell it was written by a white man. So hey, please subscribe to my channel, and please, if you have any comments about what I'm saying, write them in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you, power to the people, and goodbye.